Hello friends, welcome to KGS IAS English YouTube channel, and today we will discuss chapter 7 of economic survey that is very important related to service sector. Services from stability to new frontiers. This is our today's chapter. In case if you hadn't watched initial 6 chapters, please watch that also. This chapter number 7 is extremely important. Reason being, service sector is quite important for our overall economic growth. First of all, it contribute highest out of 3 sectors in GVA. Secondly, it also provide a lot of export. Third important thing, it also enhances the employment, and the most importantly, service sector brings lot of foreign exchange as well. So this particular service sector is very important. Let's discuss this particular chapter. First of all, importance or introduction of service sector. Let's discuss the importance and introduction of service sector. The service sector has been the backbone of Indian economy. We all know this fact. Even when I used to teach you all in the class also, I told you that in the chapter of sectors of economy, that the service sector is very important, because after 1991, that is after the post reform period, or after adopting liberalization, privatization, and globalization, government focusing a lot on service sector, or we can say this thing that India directly jumped from primary sector to service sector. And that's why right now we are focusing a lot on manufacturing, because our manufacturing growth is still not up to that mark which we are expecting to become a developed nation by 2047. Service sector is already providing a lot of return to us. Still we are focusing on the new service sector, new regimes in the service sector, like artificial intelligence or new technology in the service sector, so that we should maintain our momentum to be in top countries regarding to service sector. So India has witnessed a structural transformation in which the share of service and economic output has increased significantly. So historically, agar dekha jaye, to historically whole world will move through these stages: agriculture, industrialization, service-led economy. But if we talk about India directly jumped from agriculture to service-based economy. So service sector today contribute more than, now this is very important fact. You can use it in the prelims, you can use it in the mains, as well as it is a fact that can be used that can be asked in prelims as well. That the service sector contribute more than half of India's gross value added and is the major source of employment and export earning. So if any question come in mains exam, you should write this line, that it contribute more than 50% in overall GVA, in employment and in export earning. 80% of total FDI. Now this is again extremely important. 80% of total FDI come through this service sector. So if we talk about the major sector, information and communication, professional service, finance and energy, these are the major sector. India attract FDI mainly in skill intensive and digital sector. So guys, a UPSC question can be asked from these 3-4 lines, that half of India's total GVA is through the service sector. It is a major source of employment and export earning. 80% of our total FDI is from service sector. Information, communication, professional service, finance and energy contribute a lot. And India attract FDI mainly in skill intensive and digital sector. Now, if we talk about the service in context of employment, service sector contribute more than 50% in gross value added. That's true. They are largely driven by export, employment and investment. This is again a very important fact that can be asked. India is also the 7th largest exporter of services globally. This question can be asked, and this fact can be asked in prelims in one of the statement, as well as this is a mains, in the mains exam also you can write this fact. So India is the 7th largest exporter of services globally, and its share in global service trade has increased from, it's only 2% in 2005, and now it's almost double, 4.3% by 2024, sorry. Services, 30% employment, higher than manufacturing, but jobs are unevenly distributed. Now this is very important fact that I want that you all should notice. When we are saying that service sector is providing a lot of employment, that's true. But there is a big difference in service sector employment and in manufacturing sector employment. Service sector provide the employment, but the jobs are unevenly distributed. That means high growth but low job creation in high end service. If you see the service sector's employment overall chart of employment sector in service sector, it provides the employment, but the problem is low job creation is more in service sector. So high growth but low job creation in the high end service. That means high growth, there is high growth of service sector but low job creation. Job creation is low in high end services. That means whatever the employment is, it is providing, majority of the employment is in the medium scale or low level scale of services. So reason, automation and skill intensity. The issue in the India service sector is that the major problem is right now, if you talk about after the COVID, the current service sector has changed a lot, and majority of the Indian employees who are doing work in the service sector are still doing those kind of activities, or are having good experience in those kind of skill technology that are pre-COVID level. So right now we need to focus on those skill set also that is presently the need of an hour. We should focus on this artificial intelligence, this new era technology. That is the major focus we need to look on. Then digital transformation and service expansion. Digital deliverable services include IT, financial service, consulting and professional services. Digitalization has removed geographical constraints. Services can now be delivered remotely across the border, enabling even small economies to participate in the global market. And that's what we can say, that's a biggest advantage of the service sector. Even if you talk about the recent Trump tariffs, recent issues in Iran, US and Israel, even in the Russia-Ukraine time scenarios also, these all war and these all global geopolitics scenario actually impact goods a lot. But service sector is done through digitalization, so the impact on service sector is not that huge in comparison to the movable items, or like visible items basically. So this transformation has created a new type of economic activity, knowledge intensive, technology driven services, and that's what we are talking about. Quaternary sector is a lot depend on this particular sector. Quaternary sector focus on research, quaternary sector focus on scientific exploration, quaternary sector focuses a lot on experience as well. So these services have high value addition, they required skilled labor, and they are scalable globally. Then drivers of service sector growth. The share of service sector in India's GVA has steadily increased over time. Growth क्यों हुआ है हम सब जानते हैं. Expansion of IT and digital service, rapid urbanization. Majority of the towns in India that are considered as the service based cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad, they are considered as the very prominent cities for the service sector. Then increased demand for financial and professional services, expansion of trade and logistic network. This structural shift reflects the changing nature of Indian economy. Services such as information technology, telecommunication, financial services, and professional consulting have emerged as an important driver of economic growth. So all these new changes in the services, especially in information technology area, telecommunication, financial service and professional consulting, have emerged as top important drivers of economic growth. So service sector has maintained consistent growth even during the period of economic slowdown, making it a stabilizing force in the economy. That's what I'm talking about, that all these geopolitical scenarios, all these pandemic time period, they impact goods a lot, they impact visible items a lot. But service sector is being consistent in overall growth, and they are developing themselves as a stabilizing force in the economy. Now, if we talk about the subsector contribution, financial plus real estate plus professional services have the strongest growth. Now friends, this is very, very important. Financial plus real estate plus professional services, they have the strongest growth in service sector. Public administration, they have stable growth. Trade plus hospitality, slower recovery after COVID. So this is again a kind of question being asked by UPSC, where they can ask you like which is the strongest growing sector in service sector, like financial sector, real estate and professional service. Public administration stable, and trade plus hospitality little bit slower recovery. Now top state, if we talk about Karnataka, as I mentioned, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, So they are majorly the biggest contributor in the overall service sector growth. Highly urbanized, highly productive services, 62% urban workers in the service economy, and service dominate the urban economy over these particular states a lot. Then service export and India's global position. India has emerged as a major global exporter of service. The country's strength lies particularly in knowledge-based services. Friends, this is again a kind of prelims fact that India का जो strength है in service sector, it is more toward knowledge-based service sector. Then important service export categories include computer service, business service, financial service, and communication services. So these are the four categories where the service export has enhanced: computer service, business service, financial service, and communication service. India has a strong talent pool, large English speaking workforce, and competitive cost structure help the country becoming a global hub for outsourcing and technology services. These are the three major factors. First, we have strong talented pool, we have large English speaking workforce, and thirdly, we have a competitive cost also, which will create the overall cost at a very lower level in comparison to other countries, and we are giving professional high quality services. That's why the big nations, the big countries find India attractive place for the service sector development. So service export play important role in strengthening India's external sector by generating the foreign exchanges. Now, AI and service export. Usually, whenever I'm interacting with the students or whenever I'm interacting with my co-peers as well, they all are saying one thing, that AI is damaging our world economy a lot. But I have some different opinion regarding to it. See, whenever any new change or new technology came or any new revolution came, they obviously impact or put a dent on some jobs, especially those jobs which are routinal in nature. But AI and AI enabled jobs are giving advantage to those people a lot who equip themselves or who basically upskill themselves in this skill based domain. Obviously it impact those people who are in low domain jobs or a routine repetitive kind of job, but those people who think out of the box, who equip themselves or who update their skills accordingly. See, machines should not be made to replace human. Machines are help to assist the humans. So AI and service export, AI भी तो इंसान नहीं create किया ना, तो important ये बात नहीं है कि वो replace कर देगा. Important thing is that we should enhance our skill in such a level that we should update this AI and all these changes, whatever they going in the economic sense, we usually provide a contributor more. So artificial intelligence is not just another technology, it is fundamentally transforming how services are produced, delivered, and traded across border. The chapter highlight a two-way reinforcing relationship. Now this is very important. AI to trade. Reduce transaction cost. Obviously with the coming of AI, transaction cost reduces. It enhances the productivity. It enable automation and it enable accessibility. Enhance scalability. Production enhancement is there. Trade to AI. Cross-border service, increase knowledge flow, more exposure, faster innovation, AI adoption spread globally. This is very, very important. So when you will write your mains exam, you should specifically mention that what is the impact of AI towards the trade and what is the impact of trade towards the AI. So AI towards the trade reduces the overall cost, enhancing the productivity, enable automation, and it also enhances the scalability. But when it comes to trade to AI, knowledge flow enhanced, more exposure led to more innovation, and lastly, AI adoption spread globally. So according to WTO estimate, global trade could increase by 34 to 37% by 2040 due to AI. Remember this fact, that global trade could increase by 34 to 37% by 2040 due to AI, and digital deliverable services may grow by 42%. India record the highest increase in AI talent globally. So that's what I'm talking about. If we talk about from 2016 to 2024, India record the highest increase in AI talent globally. These three lines are very important. that global trade increased by 34 to 37% by 2040, and digital deliverable services may grow by 42%. Moving ahead, then India also understand this fact because of this a lot of instability going on because of these geopolitical crises. Apart from that, tariffs and the world are focusing more on those countries which they are close associated with. So earlier, as I mentioned, also friend shoring or near shoring. If we talk about 25-30 years back, then countries used to create groups more, and they wanted the benefit of all trade agreement should reach to the whole group. But now countries are centered towards centered towards the trade agreement, more on towards the bilateral trade agreement. Earlier it used to be multilateral trade agreement, but now countries are focusing on this bipolar world now more, and they are focusing more on bilateral trades. India, UK, CETA, the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. India, Oman, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Then India, EU FTA. So all these, the reason of doing all these things is first to diversify the trade, second to enhance the export, third to create a kind of a relationship where economic and diplomatic relations become more stronger. So India, UK, CETA, access to 137 services subsector, mutual recognition agreement. What is mutual recognition agreement? Under mutual recognition agreement, suppose if a person is possessing any degree in India, and so from that degree he can practice the work in other nation as well. For example, let's say a person is having a nursing degree in India, so he can do that nursing job in other country as well from that degree. Otherwise he has to take the new degree there if the MRA agreement is not signed, or if he has to take that degree which is compulsory under their laws. Okay, so India, UK, CETA, mutual recognition agreement. That means if he has a degree of nursing, accountancy, or architecture, he can do that same profession there without taking any new further degree. So accountancy, architecture. Then India, Oman, SEPA. Access to 127 subsector. SEPA is more comprehensive. Reduction of trade and duty, reduction of duties, and reduction of duties. Then protection of IPR, intellectual property rights. More trust-based relationship. So better mobility for professionals. 100% FDI allowed in services, which boost healthcare, IT, and professional services. If we talk about India EFTA agreement, market access should be given in IT, education, and cultural services. Then next is servicification of manufacturing. This is very interesting term. Servicification of manufacturing. Usually it is being consistently saying that the manufacturing sector and service sector are pole apart. Manufacturing sector, if we are focusing more on manufacturing sector, service sector will not be that much be focused. Or if you are focusing a lot on service sector, you are lagging behind in the manufacturing sector, but it's not like that. Manufacturing is increasingly dependent on service sector. That means if we are saying they are the two sides of a same coin. Example, smartphone is now software driven, car software on wheels, medical devices service linked. So service contribute 30% of manufacturing export value. So we should not see, or countries should not see, that the manufacturing sector or service sector are the pole apart. No, they are coming closely, and if a country is focusing a lot on servicification of manufacturing, developing the manufacturing along with the service sector, both will play a good role in the overall economic development. So 30% of manufacturing export value, services improve productivity. It also led to export competitiveness, and it also led to stability. So this is servicification of manufacturing. Moving towards IT and business services, this is one of that platform which is the backbone of service sector. Okay, so information technology and IT enabled service sector has been a key driver of India's service sector growth. India has developed a strong reputation in software development, business process outsourcing, consultancy service, cloud computing, digital transformation service, and large Indian IT companies and multinational technology firms operate under extensive service network from India. The sector contributes significantly to export and provide employment to millions of professionals. So this IT and business service sector is a backbone of service-based industry. And with this IT and business sector only, we are saying that it provides employment as well as it enhances the export. So India's software service dominates service export, accounting for more than 40% of total service export. That's why I'm saying this. IT and business service is the backbone of service-based industry. So India's software services dominate the service export, accounting for more than 40% of total service export. And that's why this IT enabled services and all of this thing regarding to business service is very important. Then next is global capability center. This is also in news. What is global capability center? Earlier, what used to happen, the big MNCs take the services of outsourcing from different segment, from different companies also, and that proved to be more costly, and also they are less reliable on that part. Now what they are doing, they are setting up their capability centers in specific nations which are providing them services of research, back support services, R&D services. So rather than depending on others, they are establishing their own companies in different parts as a capability centers form. So global capability center are units set up by multinational corporations to perform special business functions. Growth of global capability center, more than 1500 plus global capability centers operate in India. They perform research and development, data analytics, financial services, technology support, innovation and product development. Remember this thing. Global capability center is also a probable question for pre as well as for mains. It's a very important thing. So more than 1500 plus global capability center operate in India, and they perform activities like what? Research and development, data analytics, financial services, technology support. And India has become a major hub for global capability center. India is now a major hub for global capability center due to we have availability of skilled professionals, we have cost advantage, strong digital infrastructure, and they integrate India into global corporate operation. This is very important slide, friends. Remember this thing. This is extremely important slide regarding to global capability center. So 1500 plus GCC operate in India, and they are providing support in form of research, data analytics, financial services, and India has become a major hub for GCC. Moving ahead, now let's discuss about the different form of services. First, let's start with transport service. As we all know this thing, it's the infrastructure which is the key to the development. So transport service, and apart from that, multimodal logistic play a very important role. So transport service form an important part of service sector. Roads transport, national highway expansion and logistic efficiency. India has doing exceptionally well in creating expressways. Rail transport, electrification is done. High speed corridor, we are creating dedicated freight corridors. Western DFC, Eastern DFC. Improved logistic. Aviation, Udan is a game changer. That is Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, providing low cost flight service, low cost flight services to the passengers. Improve regional connectivity as well. Then shipping, port modernization. This shipping sector is very important, most important what I can say in the present time. अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर यूपीएससी मेंस में क्वेश्चन पूछता है तो उसमें शिपिंग वाला जो सेक्टर है या मैरीटाइम जो सेक्टर है उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी सबसे ज्यादा है मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट में एग्जाम में आने की. शिपिंग, सो पोर्ट मॉडर्नाइजेशन, इंक्रीज कैपेसिटी एंड फास्टर कार्गो हैंडलिंग. एंड व्हाई वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन all these sector? We are focusing a lot on all these sector to improve our logistic efficiency. If you talk about a developed nation, their overall logistic cost is 7 to 8% of GDP. And if you talk about the India's logistic cost, it is 13 to 14% of GDP. To reduce that logistic cost, we need to create a multi-modal logistics. And that's why Gati Shakti master plan is integrating all of them so that there should be proper synchronization, proper coordination and enhanced transparency. So efficient transport network are essential for economic development because they reduce logistic cost and facilitate trade. So government investment in infrastructure such as highway, railway and ports have improved transport service in recent years. Next is tourism and hospitality. Tourism is an important component of service sector economic contribution. So if we talk about the tourism sector, हम सब वैसे भी टूरिज्म को तो इंडिया इज अ लैंड दैट इज ऑलवेज वेलकमिंग द टूरिस्ट. सो टूरिज्म सेक्टर 5.22% of GDP, 13.3% of employment. It contribute in employment generation, regional development, foreign exchange earning. Tourism, we all know why this is so much important. Hotel accommodation, restaurants, travel service, cultural and heritage tourism, thanks to the specific scheme like Prasad scheme. All these things promote tourism a lot. Then the sector has been recovering steadily after the disruption caused by COVID-19. Medical tourism growth. That's why I had mentioned specifically here that the medical tourism growth has enhanced a lot. 1.12 lakh to 6 lakh, and market is 8.7 billion, and we are targeting it to make $16.2 billion by 2030. That means affordable and quality wala jo medical hai, India will provide that, and that's why this medical tourism growth has enhanced. And we are promoting the visa also. Medical visa bhi humne bahut countries ko abhi yahan par dena shuru kiya hai. Then real estate and construction service. Real estate play an important role in urban development. It include residential housing, commercial building, infrastructure development. So introduction of Real Estate Regulatory Authority (RERA) has improved transparency, and it also increased the investors' confidence and protect home buyers. And after that, real estate REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust, where even if you don't have the capacity to buy a particular real estate, you can buy these units. In that case, if you buy these units and the value of real estate property enhances, the value of your units also enhances. You get a dividend also. So just like shares, REITs also play an important role in diversification of income and enhancing the income sources. Telecommunication and digital infrastructure. Telecommunication infrastructure is critical for the growth. India is one of the largest telecom market in the world. With the expansion of mobile network and internet connectivity, it support digital payment. It also enhances e-commerce, online education, digital governance. So government initiatives like Digital India and BharatNet aim to expand internet access across rural areas. And it's I don't want to take the credit from the current government. They had done a phenomenal job in the digital infrastructure, digital public infrastructure we are talking about, or this one, the Digital India Mission, or this BharatNet connecting Gram Panchayats. All these things play a very important role. So providing broadband connectivity to rural areas, which help digital inclusion and rural development. Then state-led level distribution of services. This is, I think we had done leading states in the overall state level distribution. This is we already had done. Now the last part is challenges facing the service sector. Apart from that, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat, or UP even, they have done a phenomenal job. Cities such as Bengaluru, Mumbai, Hyderabad and Delhi have become the major center. This is we had discussed already. Challenges facing the service sector. What kind of challenges the service sector is currently facing? First is strong growth. Despite strong growth, service sector faces the major challenges. Skill gap. This is the biggest issue. Then many emerging services industries require advanced technical skill, technological changes done at a very fast level, automation and artificial intelligence, global competition. Then other countries are competing in outsourcing and digital services. So this is very important that India need to face these challenges. So what is the way forward? Lastly, the way forward is India's service sector has evolved into a global growth engine driven by digitalization, innovation and global integration. This service sector provides us stability, high growth, enhances our export, but the future of the service sector is depending a lot on skill development, technological adoption, policy support and global integration. And the most important thing is service-led growth alone is not sufficient. It must be complemented by manufacturing and institutional reform. With the emergence of AI, digital service and global capability center, India is moving towards a knowledge-driven economy. We are moving towards a knowledge-driven economy, and the challenges is we should focus on more inclusive, sustainable and employment-generating service sector. Now let's discuss few of the questions related to this particular chapter. Regarding to service sector, expansion of India's service sector does not necessarily lead to proportional employment generation across the country. This is true. That means expansion of India's service sector does not necessarily lead to proportional employment generation across the economy. That's correct. In majority of the high level skilled service jobs, the unemployment still persists. People doesn't have that required skills. A significant share of India's service growth is concentrated in high skilled technology intensive segment. A significant share of India's service growth is concentrated in high skilled technology intensive segment. Service sector growth is primarily driven by labor intensive informal activities in this is wrong statement. A significant share of India's service growth is concentrated in high skilled technology intensive segment. That's true. इंडिया का जो सर्विस सेक्टर का ग्रोथ है उसमें बहुत बड़ा रोल हाई स्किल टेक्नोलॉजी इंटेंसिव सेगमेंट का है, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यह है कि इंडिया में इस लेवल का एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट अभी इतना नहीं हो पा रहा है. सो सेकंड इज एक्सप्लेनिंग द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. सो ओनली वन ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. India's service sector exhibit high growth with relatively low volatility compared to agriculture and industry. That's true. Services are less dependent on physical supply chain and more reliant on digital delivery system. That's why the service sector is showing so high growth, because service sector are not depending on physical supply chain, and that's why they are having more growth and low volatility. So 2 is correct and explaining 1. So both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and second statement explains statement 1. Consider the following statement regarding India's service exports. Software service account for the largest share of India's service export. This is true. AI intensive services have shown higher export growth compared to non-AI services. That's true again. Traditional services like tourism have benefited more from AI compared to digital services. No, tourism is not directly benefited from AI. It is the digital services that benefit a lot from AI. So third statement is wrong. 1 and 2 only is the correct one. Consider the following statement. Expansion of digital infrastructure increase the tradability of services. This is true. Digital infrastructure expansion enhance the tradability of services. Service sector growth necessarily led to high employment generation across all skill level. This is superlative. First of all, necessarily, then all skill levels. Service sector enhances the employment, but it is not mentioned that it should be necessarily generate at all skill level. You need to upgrade your skill, then it will promote more employment. Global trade and service is less affected by geopolitical disruption compared to global trade. That's true. Global trade and services is less affected by geopolitical disruption because geopolitical disruption impact goods more rather than services. So question asked about incorrect, 2 only is the correct statement. Then we have the match the following. Service-led growth characteristics in Indian economy occurring at relatively low per capita income level. That's true. Service-led growth occurring at relatively low per capita income level. That's correct. Digital service export highly dependent on physical logistic. No, this is wrong. Global capability center increasing role in research, innovation, and high-end function. True. High-end services strong employment generation. No. High-end services promote strong growth, but employment is not that up to the level. So this is wrong. Correct is 2 pair are matched. So friends, this is all in chapter number 7. I hope you all like this chapter. If you all like this chapter, please share it, subscribe it, and mention in the comment as well. Next time when we'll meet, we'll discuss chapter number 8. Thank you so much and God bless you all.